Hi everybody, Ed Amoroso here, and I want to talk to you today about something called a SYN flood, SYN, S-Y-N, being the first packet in the TCP three-step sequence. Now, in the context of distributed denial of service attacks, there's so much misconception, particularly in the popular media and even amongst technologists, about where denial of service attacks come from. And we all know for the most part that there's botnets involved. We get that. But there's really two cases for any type of entity trying to flood another. And in the context of TCP/IP, let me tell you what those two cases are. The first case is where you're not willing to give up who you are. You're not going to say it's really coming from me. You're going to lie about your source IP address. And in the second case, you're going to be perfectly comfortable saying, yep, it's me. This is where I'm going to set up a session. Now let's think about the pros and cons of those two. Now, if I'm only willing to just send a packet as somebody else, then that's as far as I'm going to get. I'll put a diagram here up of a bunch of SYNs. A's source IP address is 10.1.2.3. But uses the source IP address of some other thing, 192.1.2.3.4. So what happens is I send a SYN, I send another SYN, I send another SYN. That's the essence of a flood or denial of service attack. I keep sending them. Think of it as like a gun. Boom, 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 boom. I'm sending these SYN packets. Where are the responses going? They're not coming to you, they're going to somebody else. Now the irony is sometimes that is the ultimate victim. Sometimes you think, I'm going to hit you, you're going to respond to him, and that's who I'm trying to DDoS. Like if you're a DNS server and I want the DNS response to come back, that's sometimes the purpose. Other times, you're the one I'm trying to attack with a SYN flood, and maybe I'm changing up my source IP so you're spraying out all the responses all over the place. You, the internet attacker, I hope you're not an internet attacker, but you get the idea. Whoever is designing these things has to think through, what do you want to do? So the first case is you're lying. We call that a SYN flood. The second case is much more powerful because if I send a SYN, you send SYN ACK, I send ACK, we have a session set up. I can now do application level things. I can log into you, I can send commands, I can ask to download stuff, whatever, depending on what it is you are. Let's say you're a web server. I get on now, I start downloading things to try to create a very busy condition for your website or whatever. But I'm doing it, I'm exposing the source IP. So generally, when that's the case, it's always preceded by first breaking into someone else's machine, and that's how botnets are set up, as we've discussed and as how I'm sure many of you are very familiar with. If I've got a little botnet that's designed and created and recruited, and I can now have all my bots do that, I really don't care that they expose who they are. It's not my computer, scattered around the world probably. So you know that it's, somebody's mom's PC connected to broadband that's attacking you. What are you going to do? Again, in the popular media, there's this misconception that when you see these attacks coming that are exposing source IPs, well, just hack them back. But in a botnet, who are you hacking? You're hacking somebody who's already been hacked and is probably innocent, probably unaware that it happened, and in many cases, you're just making it worse. Suppose it's a children's hospital that's been, infected with bot software and is now attacking you. What are you going to do? Attack them back? So it's a symptom of great ignorance that I hope, as you study cybersecurity, as we go through these lectures, we can help to rectify. So keep that in mind. Now, I've got a little quiz that'll test our understanding of this. So think about those three. I think you'll come to the conclusion that it's the middle answer, it's B, right? So the response SYN ACK packets for a flood are going to go somewhere else. So it keeps you nice and comfortable. If you lie about your source IP, you're not getting all these pesky SYN ACKs coming back. You could actually have the result of maybe making your own connection a little busy. Better to make somebody else's connections busy as part of the attack. So I hope you don't do these things, but it's important for us as we learn cybersecurity to know the difference between the different elements of these attacks. I'll see you in the next video.